It's a question on everyone's lips. What came out of the visits by foreign dignitaries last week? Well, that question will be answered later as we recap the visits of the British and Japanese Prime Ministers and Her Royal Highness Princess Anne. Plus, highlights of the Youth Climate Change Forum. Yes, the youngsters have some deep thoughts about climate change. And
Jamaica is also home to the fastest man in the world, Usain Bolt, to the world.
well, we all knew that. But did you know?
Our Milk River bath and mineral spa is the most radioactive in the world, and that's a good thing.
Stay tuned for more fun facts about Jamaica, of course, at Jamaica. I'm Adrian Atkinson. Stay with us. Another exciting edition of Jamaica Magazine awaits you.
Guns are a significant problem in Jamaica, and that is why we have to move to do something about it. It is in this context that I am now launching a special initiative of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, the Get the Guns campaign. You, the public, can keep illegal guns out of your communities by using all means to inform the police as to how illegal guns are stored and moved within the communities.
Download and use the Stay Alert app from the Google Play Store. Call 119-311-811 or the nearest police station.
Good day, I'm Tamar McHale, and this is your JIS News for Friday, October 9. Work will start shortly to expand the Boscobel wastewater treatment plant in St. Mary and the Ellison Flats facility in St. Andrew. Water Minister Robert Pickersgill signed a $4.2 million contract with Vinci Construction Grants Projects on Wednesday to carry out the work.
Under this contract, the Commission intends to replace the Boscobel facility with a new wastewater treatment plant with a capacity of 600 cubic meters per day. The expansion of this system will have the capacity to treat current sewage flows to it, as well as the sewage from a new housing scheme, as well as other such planned subdivisions.
The new Boscobel plant will be built on lands adjacent to the existing facility. The Ellison Flats wastewater treatment facility will be similarly rebuilt and expanded at its existing location to accommodate a capacity of some 1,900 cubic meters per day. Minister Pickersgill says these will help to reduce contamination of groundwater, improve service levels, and ensure greater customer satisfaction among the citizens of Ellison Flats and Boscobel. In the meantime, there's a proposal on the table to reuse wastewater for agricultural purposes. The general manager of the Central Wastewater Treatment Company, which operates the Soapberry treatment plant, says it's proposed to treat the water from that facility and use it for this purpose. According to Keith Goodison, this would be an important step in light of the continued water woes faced by those in the agricultural sector.
When you say agricultural purposes, what comes to mind almost instantly is the sugarcane industry. You'll be looking at hardy crops to use the water. It has nutrients which are consistent with the expansion and development of those crops. So that is one thing that we have actually engaged two companies in discussions about the matter. We would need to establish certain installation facilities at the plant so we could offload the water to be used by those sectors.
There has been a 14% reduction in the number of farm thefts since the Predial Larceny Prevention Unit was established earlier this year. Head of the unit, DSP Kevin Francis, says that since its March 2 commencement, the division has had 133 prosecutions for breaches of the Agricultural Produce Act. The prosecutions have resulted in 115 convictions, with 17 matters still before the court. DSP Francis says approximately 4,200 pounds of uncertified meat have also been disposed of, and the team has visited 98 farms and carried out 68 community meetings.
We're going around this island and letting people know that work is being done, and we're working for the farmers to ensure that you feel safe, you are protected, and that you are reassured
DSP Francis was addressing farmers in St. Elizabeth recently. Meanwhile, island-wide training continues to build policemen and women's capacity to deal with predial larceny.
Everyone should be aware of how to deal with or treat with predial larceny reports when they come in. It is the intent of this unit to go across the island to have extensive training at all levels of the police force.
The head of the predial larceny unit says a vigorous investigative machinery is now in place with a focus on persons who are repeat offenders. Industry Minister Anthony Hilton is asserting that Jamaica's Logistics Hub initiative remains a viable program. He says the country is well on its way to becoming the fourth node in the global logistics chain. The minister was speaking shortly after a tour of Kingston Wharves Limited, which is investing $2 billion in infrastructure developments to meet the demands of the global value chain.
As a government, our efforts to improve the business environment, increase efficiency, to implement trade facilitation measures, along with the improved business processes, has proven effective in attracting investments.
One aspect of the multi-purpose port being built by Kingston Wharves is a 160,000 square foot warehouse complex. Construction is expected to be completed within 12 months. And finally, National Security Minister Peter Bunting has given more details on the categories of persons who would be deported to Jamaica from the United Kingdom if Jamaica decides to accept the proposed prisoner transfer agreement. Minister Bunting says the process would not apply to persons who are UK citizens with family ties in Jamaica.
And to the extent that there were persons who went there as children and may have spent most of their lives in the UK, we have contemplated that we would not accept those persons, the persons whose families are in the UK primarily. We would say no, those persons should remain there for their sentence for the same reason that I mentioned, to maintain access of family, etc.
As for those considered for deportation, he says the majority are in UK prisons due to drug-related charges and violent offences committed in that country. The National Security Minister was speaking Thursday during a live video stream in which he answered questions posed by various individuals on social media. It's part of the public consultation process on the issue. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Tamar McHale. Thanks for watching.
Just last week, Jamaica hosted 3 foreign dignitaries, all in a bid to deepen diplomatic relations. We hosted the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, David Cameron, Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, and Her Royal Highness Princess Anne. The visits were successful, and Jamaica has been able to strengthen our relationship with our foreign counterparts. But how did the visits really benefit Jamaica? A recap is next, beginning with the British Prime Minister.
September 29, 2015. Another historic occasion on Jamaican soil. The arrival of David Cameron, the first British Prime Minister to touch down on the Isle of Wood and Water in 14 years.
I am serious about the need to strengthen the bonds between the UK and the Caribbean. And I've come here today, not just with words of friendship, but with a real down payment on Britain's commitment to you.
That down payment? £360 million in development assistance for Jamaica and other Commonwealth Caribbean countries. £60 million is to attract investments to the region and help Caribbean hospitals become more resilient to natural disasters. The bulk of the money, £300 million, represents cash grants to fund infrastructure projects.
This money could help to unleash trade across the region with new roads, new bridges, new port infrastructure to help speed up freight movements.
The bilateral talks with Prime Minister Portia Simpson-Miller and key government officials also facilitated dialogue on issues related to national security. The Jamaican government announced that it had signed a non-binding memorandum of understanding with the government of the United Kingdom for the construction of a maximum security prison in Jamaica. The UK said it would provide £25 million in grant funding to help build the prison and a further £5.5 million towards the reintegration of inmates. The new facility, which is still being discussed, should accommodate between 1,500 and 2,000 inmates, 300 of whom may be deported from the United Kingdom to finish serving prison sentences if Jamaica agrees to a prisoner transfer agreement.
Improving the ability of the Jamaican criminal justice system to deal with crime, and also enabling the United Kingdom to return criminals to serve their sentence. This, I believe, is in the interests of both of us and is a good example of how we can work together to benefit people here in Jamaica and in Britain too.
Climate change also featured prominently in the discussions. The UK indicated that Jamaica stood to benefit from a $9 billion climate change fund.
We also considered strengthening cooperation in the areas of security and human resource development and used the opportunity to discuss issues at the regional level, including UK-Caribbean relations and our membership in the Commonwealth.
Then there was the hot-button topic of reparations.
Indicating that Jamaica is involved in a process under the auspices of the Caribbean community to engage the UK on the matter. While we are aware of the obvious sensitivities involved.
Of course, this is an important debate. I mean, my view is that as we look into the past, we should think of all of the aspects of the past, and so I don't think reparations are the right answer. But the purpose of my visit is to look to the future.
But even as the UK, Jamaica and the wider Caribbean look to the future, homage was paid to the past at the cenotaph at the National Heroes Park, erected in honor of those Jamaicans who died in World Wars I and II. A tribute to those Jamaicans also came from another head of government, immediately following his arrival at the Norman Manley International Airport.
I am pleased to welcome to Jamaica His Excellency, Mr. Shinzo Abe, Prime Minister of Japan.
The aim of that visit was to deepen Jamaica-Japan relations in key areas, including trade, education, culture, sport, security, and climate change. Bilateral talks between Prime Minister Simpson-Miller, Mr. Abe, and key stakeholders ended with a commitment to helping Jamaica and 3 other CARICOM countries expand their use of renewable energy solutions.
We decided the implementation of new technical cooperation in the area of energy efficiency, which is one of the main focus of Jamaica.
A memorandum of understanding was also signed for academic and information exchange between the University of the West Indies and Sophia University in Japan. The Jamaican and Japanese governments also signed a $57 million grant to improve the exhibition and audiovisual facilities of the Institute of Jamaica. To build on that, the 2 governments signed notes of exchange relating to future cultural cooperation.
One love, one heart.
And since culture is such an important part of Jamaica-Japan relations, Mr. Abe's visit would have been incomplete without a visit to the museum in honor of reggae icon Bob Marley. And later, the captivating warmth and hospitality of Jamaica was proudly put on display at a reception hosted by the Prime Minister. Jamaica also gave a warm welcome to Her Royal Highness Princess Anne during her 3-day working visit. While here, the Princess Royal toured radio station RJR, the Michael University, and the headquarters of the Jamaica Defence Force. Princess Anne also had interactions with Prime Minister Simpson-Miller during a reception, paid a courtesy call on Governor-General Sir Patrick Allen, and presented the Duke of Edinburgh International Gold Awards to 6 young Jamaicans. But the main reason for Princess Anne's visit was to participate in the Caribbean-Canada Emerging Leaders Dialogue, which provides an avenue for emerging leaders to develop their skill set. Jamaica was chosen as this year's host country for the event, and Prime Minister Portia Simpson-Miller underscored the importance of developing strong leaders.
as government, as businesses, and as civil society organizations, we must place urgent emphasis on fashioning at every level dynamic 21st century Caribbean leadership with the global perspective and confidence to completely tackle and overcome the challenges we face.
The week of September 29 to October 2, 2015, one for the history books. 3 fruitful and successful visits. British Prime Minister David Cameron, Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, and Her Royal Highness Princess Anne. Jamaica, strengthening the ties that bind, deepening our diplomatic relations with foreign countries.
As you heard in the previous feature, climate change continues to be a major priority for countries the world over. Jamaica is no exception. And the Ministry of Water, Land, Environment and Climate Change has been leading the charge, ensuring that our young people understand the issue and are taking steps to deal with extensive changes in weather patterns. Here are their views at the second staging of the Youth Climate Change Forum.
It's the second staging of the Youth Climate Change Conference, and we are getting in on the action.
As young people, you are capable of participating in and changing the society in which you are all valued members. As such, you have an important role to play in addressing and affecting the issues of our world, including the factors that contribute to climate change. Very important.
Have I been sleeping?
About 1,000 students from high schools across the island, all discussing the global issue of climate change at Jamaica's Youth Conference of Parties. School Zone was happy to engage in converse with our students to hear their views on the matter.
As it relates to climate change, there are many different factors that we must take into consideration, but probably first and foremost is actually information. As you know, that knowledge is power. So if we can inform this generation of what climate change is and the role it plays in our future, then I believe that that is the first step in reducing the heat that we're experiencing right now. On top of that, with the new generation upcoming, they're very involved in technology, and if they can use that technology to advance what the situation with climate change is right now, then we will be better off in 10 to 20 years' time, given that this generation is really advanced in technology.
Well, spread the news and recycle more, stop use less aerosol products for women especially, and also, just stop dumping plastic bottles and those stuff in the rivers.
So I'm here with my friends Petrina and Danielle from the Irwin High School in Montego Bay, and they'll be sharing with me their views on climate change. Let me start with Petrina. Petrina, what do you think you can do to tackle the issue of climate change?
Educate. Education is always better.
And why do you think it's so important to get the young people on board?
They say the youth are the future of tomorrow. So starting from the youth is better than ever.
Mm-hmm. The conversation also included our youth with disabilities who had much to say on the matter.
It is important that government continue the conversation surround climate change with persons with disabilities, and that can be done by having more workshops to include them.
And through the language of signing, the deaf community shared their views.
There's a place in your heart, and I know that it is love. And this place is much brighter than tomorrow. And if you really try, you'll find there's no need.
Those are some of the impacts of climate change which unfortunately have already started. Our students believe, however, that if we change our ways, we can slow down some of these effects. Their views are supported by government and other stakeholders.
One of the solutions I think we should really push is that the point where they said that public sectors and private sectors should be involved, that really shows that the whole country is, coming together, public and private, to really solve this issue, even though it can't really be solved, but to slow it down and to get things on the right track.
Individually, there's a whole lot of power that you have. And that power begins with understanding the need to do certain things to improve our common situation, whether it be shutting off the light, recycling, or buying products and working and supporting companies that support the environment.
I hope that things are put in place after we have done all this talking.
They certainly will, Javon, as the outcome of the views of all these youth will be incorporated into the current climate change framework document for schools in Jamaica. Suggestions included:
we should include a paragraph on the use of wind turbines where appropriate, because not all schools would be in a locale where those particular technologies can be used. All future building plans are to include and incorporate energy efficiency in their core goals.
It was a fruitful convo for all the students, and in the end, outstanding schools and students were awarded. Overall champion was the Westwood High School from Trelawney. Kudos to you guys.
So to Jamaicans out there, students, parents, everyone, just help to make a change. Teamwork makes the dream work. So each of us have to do our part in order to make everything work out in the end.
All right, what do you plan to do?
I'll ensure anything electric is off before I leave any empty room.
That's a wrap for today's School Zone. Till next time, I'm Tamara.
Yes, October is Heritage Month, the perfect time for us to be even more proud of where we're coming from as a people, and the perfect time for us to be proud of our island home and those things that make us uniquely Jamaican.
The food. The food of love. Songs to really make you rub and scrub. The people. The natural beauty. The music.
Give thanks to God again and again. Oh, if we could love each other.
This is ex-Jamaica. Or Jamaica. The land of blood and water. Woo! My country, Jamaica, is the largest in the Caribbean that speaks English. Even though we look small on the map, the country covers over 4,000 square miles.
Way back then, when your mother's father's uncle's pygmy son was alive, we were emancipated. We no longer had to work as slaves. Yes!
And on August 6, 1962, we became independent. We were now responsible for ourselves. And we were the first English-speaking country in the Caribbean to do so.
Ending slavery was not the only good thing. In 1944, Mommy and Daddy got the chance to choose who should run the country by voting. Did you know that the largest parish in Jamaica is St. Anne? And you'll never guess what the longest river is. It's the Rio Minho in Clarendon.
Our national flag is also unique. The Jamaican, Libyan, and Mauritanian flags are the only ones that do not have the colors of the American flag: red, white, or blue.
And did you know that Jamaica was the first commercial producers of banana in the Western Hemisphere? The Manchester Golf Club is also the oldest golf club in the Western Hemisphere. Our Milk River Bath and Mineral Spa is the most radioactive in the world, and that's a good thing. The Kingston Harbor is the 7th largest natural harbor in the world.
And do you know the birthplace of reggae music is right here in Jamaica? One love, one heart, let's get together and feel alright.
Hear the children crying. Hear the children crying.
It can be black or creamy. What am I talking about? The Jamaican Blue Mountain Coffee, which so many people love. And the Jamaica rum, Daddy says is good. It's sell off. Jamaica is also home to the fastest man in the world, Usain Bolt, to the world. And we are the first and only country to hold the male 100-meter title at all levels, including Olympics and World Champs. And it's not only track and field that we are good at. We do not have snow, but we do participate in the Winter Olympics. Cool runnings.
Jamaica's culture is also one that will definitely light up a room. The language of emoticons, capital D. Say you're in downtown Kingston and you want to get to Halfway Tree. You ask,
how far is Halfway Tree from here?
The response?
Just around the corner, man.
Only in Jamaica when you ask,
which part you there?
I'm so far, man.
Then they arrive in the next few hours.
Some things just can't be said in English. You are talking too much. No, you just a chat to Tagalong, so.
My country, Jamaica, has a rich heritage and is very unique. If we all pull together, we can make it the place of choice to
live, work, raise family,
and to do business.
The JIS Heritage Essay Competition is here again. If you're a primary or preparatory school student aged 9 to 12, you may enter. Write an essay on the topic, A Day in the Life of My Favorite National Hero. Ensure your essay is 400 to 500 words. Include a title page and list of references, with JIS being one of the sources. And submit the essay using the application form on the JIS website, jis.gov.jm. Deadline is Saturday, October 31, 2015. So start writing your essay today! For more information, contact the Jamaica Information Service at 926-374-026, extension 2137 or 2023, or email heritageessay@jis.gov.jm.
And that's it for Jamaica Magazine on this busy Friday evening. But the relationship does not end here. Keep up to date with all the useful information at jis.gov.jm and keep sharing your comments via Jamaica Magazine at jis.gov.jm or sound off on social media. I'm Adrian Atkinson and this has been Jamaica Magazine. Thanks for staying with us. We'll see you again tomorrow.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.